I'm not sure how much more hurt William can take with his brother. This would have hurt him deeply that, Harry wants to have a final cut-off. It would be a nice ending to this terrible story. It's just not going to happen.
There's been a report this week that Prince Harry was considering changing his name to Spencer. Obviously, that's the name of his late mother, Princess Diana, and it would presumably mean that he was ditching the family name Mountbatten-Windsor, and obviously comes at a time where relations between Harry and the royal family seem to be at an all-time low. He ultimately decided against the move, according to this report, but the fact he even considered it sends quite a message. Yes, it does. And I think as well that this is another Harry not knowing what he wants to do. It was only, less than a month ago that he was pleading for a reconciliation with his father and his brother. And the next thing we hear, and I think the story was well sourced, and the next thing we hear, he wants to change the name from Mountbatten-Windsor to Spencer. Well, that is sending a terrible message to the royal family that he doesn't really want a reconciliation. He wants to be completely severed from the royal family. And I think the king should grant his wish. I think he should sever him from the royal family.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really sad if this is true. We don't know exactly when this conversation happened, but it's reported to have been during a recent visit back to the UK. He was advised by his uncle, Earl Spencer, Diana's younger brother, that it just would be legally insurmountable to do so. And I mean, I didn't see this one coming. I don't know about you, Charles, because there's been so much controversy over the use of the name Sussex and whether or not they still have the right to do so. And Meghan saying, look, I'm a Sussex now. But that they might have considered changing their name to Spencer. Why? I mean, is it to send a message to the royal family? Is it to say, OK, fine, you don't want to talk to us, then we're not a part of this anymore? Is it because he feels much closer to his Spencer relatives? They are the ones who turned up for the 10th anniversary Invictus service at St Paul's, for example. There weren't any members of the royal family there. Is it to honour his mother? Some more cynical commentators have suggested, well, it would be very good marketing in the United States to have the Spencer name, and Lilibet would then be Lilibet Diana Spencer. We know that Harry has ultimately decided not to take the name Spencer if this report is correct. But how do you think this whole claim would have gone down with Prince William, as it's his mother as well?
I would have thought he'd have been furious when he heard it. I mean, I have to say that, we don't actually know if this is a true story, but I believe it is to be true, because you've got to look at where the story came out from and who wrote the story. That is a very, very good royal reporter who wrote it in the Mail on Sunday, Catherine Griffiths, I think. Charlotte Griffiths, sorry. Who's very well placed, and the Mail get away with an awful lot of good royal stories. And Spencer nor Harry have issued any denials, even through their friends later on, when other people have tried to follow it up. So I believe the story to be true. And I think William will be, I'm not sure how much more hurt William can take with his brother, but I think this would have hurt him deeply that, Harry wants to have a final cut-off.
In the heart of Britain's most famous family, the tension runs deeper than ever. Prince William, once Harry's confidant and closest ally, has reached his breaking point. After years of painful betrayals, emotional interviews, and public attacks, the future king has decided there's no going back. Once, they were inseparable, bonded by tragedy, united by purpose. William and Harry walked side by side behind their mother's coffin, their pain forever linking them. But somewhere along the road from Kensington to California, that brotherly bond shattered. Every revelation, every accusation, and every Netflix confession has driven a deeper wedge between them. For William, it's not just about the media circus, it's about trust. He has watched Harry expose private family moments, turn grievances into headlines, and align himself with forces that profit from the monarchy's humiliation. To William, this isn't brotherly honesty, it's betrayal. And sources close to the palace reveal the future king is done trying to mend it. Royal aides describe William as protective of his wife, his children, and the institution he will one day lead. He believes that forgiveness, while noble, cannot come at the cost of the crown's integrity. After all, How can a future king embrace a brother who continuously undermines the very monarchy he's sworn to uphold? Meanwhile, Harry seems lost between two worlds that he speaks of love for his family, yet fuels a narrative that deepens the divide. Insiders say the king has offered olive branches, but for William, the wounds are too raw. Each word Harry utters in public cuts deeper, confirming that reconciliation may no longer be possible. There was a time when the brothers' reunion felt inevitable, that one heartfelt conversation could heal everything, but years of distance, resentment, and media exposure have changed that. William has learned to protect his peace, to prioritize his duty over the pain. And now, he's drawing the line. For Prince William, the message is clear: he cannot take any more hurt. He will fulfill his destiny as king, but he will do it without his brother by his side. The road to reconciliation, once filled with hope, has turned cold, and this time, perhaps forever.
We're just going to do quick answers. Whoever wants to go first can jump in. We've just talked about Meghan discussing possibly going into business with Lily in the future. Which parent-child royal business would you have liked to see, or would you like to see?
I think the ultimate would have been the late Queen and her mother, the Queen Mother. Handbags and headscarves, maybe.
Oh, what a shame. I would have loved that. That's a good one.
I would have... I'm against the working royals setting up any business at all with their children, because they don't need to. They have a job.
Yes, they have a firm. They have a family firm.
They have a family firm anyway, so it's all right for Meghan because she's not a working royal, and what she does in America is up to her. And best of luck to her.
Well, it's working in the hypotheticals, and we can dream. We can only dream of that duo.
That is a good one, though.
Should Harry and Meghan change their family name and move away from any royal connection entirely?
I think that would be really sad, because I think everyone's long-term hope is that there can be some form of reconciliation, and it doesn't look like it at the moment, does it?
No.
And certainly not after Prince Harry's most recent interview. But for the sake of the king, who, let's not forget, is continuing to undergo cancer treatment and is deeply saddened about that rift with his son, I think we do have to hope that there can be some form of rapprochement between them in the future. And for the children too, for Archie and Lilibet to know their roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with Sarah on that. It would be really nice. It would be a nice ending to this terrible story, that they all get back together and sort of chunter off into the hills and holding hands like something from The Sound of Music. But it's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And I totally agree with Sarah as well, I think it's the worst thing is that Archie and Lilibet will not only get to not know their grandfather, but they won't even get to know their uncle, who will be king. No matter what happens in the future, they will still have those royal connections. However severance comes, they will still be related by blood to the king and his son.
So I feel it's a no across the board, that we keep the royal connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So lastly, if Meghan's podcast does get a season 2, who would you like to see her have as a guest?
Well, she's just had Beyonce's mum, so why not Beyonce? Then, I mean, Beyonce and her, we saw in Netflix in the series that Beyonce, texts Meghan.
She called her B.
Yeah. Harry and Meghan just went to Beyonce's concert recently, so I'd like to see her.
Okay. I think, I don't disagree, but I would like to see Taylor Swift. That is the biggest name going. I mean, it'd be hard to say who's got more clout, Taylor Swift or Beyonce, but you get Taylor Swift on a podcast talking about it.
Yes.
It is box office, and talk about selling out in 45 minutes. You'd have been sold out in half an hour.
Absolutely. So we'll move on now to our last topic. Staying on Prince William, though, he and Catherine had quite a scary incident over the weekend. An intruder broke into Windsor Castle, just yards away from their home, Adelaide Cottage. The man is said to have climbed over a wall to get into the grounds around lunchtime on Sunday, and it's understood the Waleses were at home with their 3 children. Now, a similar event happened at Windsor Castle just, I think, 6 months ago, last October. Does the palace need to tighten security? Well,
I think we have to sort of say to the police that they did a very, very good job. The trouble is at Windsor is that they have removed the armed guards at the main gates. Now, I know this guy didn't come through the main gates, so you've still got armed guards who patrol the inner circle of the castle. And every time, I think this is about the 4th or 5th time that someone has got into the grounds. I think the guy who had the crossbow, who was...
Christmas Day, 2021. Yeah, the one who said he wanted to kill the Queen.
He wanted to kill the Queen. Well, he got arrested, I mean, within feet of a door that would have led him into where the Queen may have been. And it's reminiscent of years and years ago of a guy called Michael Fagan, who climbed the railings at Buckingham Palace and actually sat on the Queen's bed while she was still in it. And, you know, and she had to call her butler, Paul Wybrow, to get him out. So, you know, your question about do the police need to tighten up? Yes, they do, because it's always under review. They can never cover every brick of Windsor Castle or any royal residence. But I think the police do an excellent job in protecting the royal family.
And you mentioned the incident 6 months ago in October, and that was when intruders managed to get in through the Shaw Farm gate, and they stole a pickup truck and a quad bike. And this was a burglary, really, but they used that pickup truck to then ram the gate. That one was pretty close to Adelaide Cottage. This one, Town Gate in Windsor, was quite a bit further away from the main house, but it's a vast estate. There is a security cordon within the Windsor estate protecting most of the properties in it. Not, of course, Royal Lodge, where Prince Andrew lives, and that's why there's been so much controversy over his continued residence there. But, you know, there have been a number of incidents now. And
let's not forget that as Sarah says, that there is this outer ring of protection, but William, Catherine and the children would have had their own personal protection officers with them in any case. So there is a second line of security that would have, hopefully, would have dealt with any real serious problems.